the events after the battle in Shigaraki. So right now, Deku is of course in the hospital since he did lose an arm. But normally Deku would be able to regenerate this after a month or two, but he's not regenerating at all in that area. So he thinks that his court can be an enemy of regeneration. Even Recovery Girl tries to close his wounds, which it would not allow Recovery Girl to. So all they're doing is blocking it off. Since the skin won't grow back over it, he's losing a lot of blood by the second. So this is after a while of doing this. It's about a week later, as the time that all the villains would come, as I said at the end of the other part. But yeah, so this is whenever Deku would wake up again, feeling the pain of his arm and all that. He would stand up, walking through the hospital, trying to get out of it, which the nurses and doctors have to get him back to it, and they would have to strap him in since he keeps on trying to leave. But after 2 days later, they would be trying to give him food, which he hasn't been eating at all. But he would wake up one day, seeing All Might there, saying that you're too unstable, and it's too dangerous for you, so we might have to take you out of UA and have you protected in a certain area. With all that, which Deku would get mad, grabbing or exploding with fire from his arms, breaking from his arm and legs, breaking off the whole leather stuff, burning it away completely. Deku would get up, saying, I can't regenerate at all, can't even close, so I might as well melt it together, with black flames appearing on his hands, which I'm grabbing his arm, squeezing it, burning it, and you would hear a scream of pain, with All Might try to stop him, and people will try and rush in there, try to help him, and all that. But he would wake up, Deku would, and whenever he wakes up, he would be strapped completely around, and Azawa would be there. Since he kind of just committed self-harm, but it kind of did fix him. So this is whenever he would be in there and they asked why he did that. He said that if trying to heal it won't work, I decided to burn it together instead. So it's not regenerating, it's just doing even more harm. So yeah, that was my plan. They would say that was a stupid plan, all that, and say that you're not allowed to get out of here until you're evaluated. So yeah, and as I would be watching you and all that, and in this, Deku's getting even more mad with black flames appearing on his forehead, going up it, which Ozawa would try to turn on his cork, which it would not work, with his fingers and the whole arm thing, or the back of his fingers would rip through it, and he would stretch his arm out, breaking through it and taking it off, with the black flames still being there on his head, going up in a sort of horn formation. And he would look towards them, saying that not even Azawa's court can stop me, so you might as well just let me go back to UA, since I'm getting a little ticked off for now. This is whenever his arm would show with all the burns and melted flesh, which Deku would move like the stub of his arm, and he would move it around a couple of times with flames appearing over it, a black flame, sort of new arm, you could say. And after this, he would put his arm towards like the glass that they're looking through, which is probably bulletproof glass, just in case if a villain had a bullet cork or something like that, which his hand would go straight through, or his replaced arm, you could say, and he would just kind of melt it and kind of peel it over as if it was like tape, and he would take it off, putting it down. This whenever his hand would start, or his replaced arm would stop flaming, and Deku would pull his arm, take his regular arm, taking it off, and he would have pulled out it, showing that he just created a sort of arm, you can say a mechanical arm that he can control through his cork. So yeah, Deku would take it off and would disappear it, walking through and all that while they're trying to stop him. Since this is an area where villains are, so they don't know if this was a villain or not. So there would be heroes called, and police would be there aiming their guns, which Deku would walk forward, which they would shoot their guns with their bullets pretty much smacking Deku in the face, with Deku pretty much melting at the instant it touched his skin. Deku would have replaced his arm, saying that I'm just trying to walk out of here. He would appear a sword, but instead of that small mini sword, this time it's a long sword, which flames, instead of just covering his arm, would go all the way up to his shoulder. Or like, wait, didn't I say his whole shoulder was taken off? So yeah, it would go all the way up this time, which it would create a jagged sort of arm thing. I'll just search up a picture. This is the best gauntlet I can appear. But yeah, a long sword would appear. A whole ring around his back would appear with fire. And he would have pointed the sword into the air and would have swung the sword in a circular motion really slowly, which it would destroy a hole into the top of it. He would jump up there and would be sitting up there pretty much, with Aizawa and them running over, catching up pretty much, with the police officer saying that the villain escaped, with them saying that wasn't a villain, that was a student. So yeah, this is whenever Deku would whistle, with shadows appearing behind him, with Reagan being there. So whenever Reagan appears, Deku would have jumped onto him. Yeah. Sorry about that interruption. I had to do something. But yeah, so they would jump off with Reagan jumping up. And he's like, why be jumping off the building, master? Well, he won't fall down, he sees, and he's floating. And Deku would say, I'm using solid air, or like, I'm solidizing the air for us, so just run. Which what everybody else sees is a giant wolf that is running on air. So yeah, he would leave and all that. And they're wondering if Deku just like up and left or all that, while the heroes are looking for him for that whole night. And Deku would appear back again at UA the next morning and all that. Appearing back with his replaced arm and his replaced arm and a circle in the back of him, and he would fly in, pretty much. Is what people see him travel to school like. So yeah. He would walk in with people being confused and all that. And they're wondering what happened to him. They heard some of the stuff that happened. But they're awfully confused since they didn't expect him to come back. So, yeah. They have canceled the whole trip since Aizawa couldn't come and all that until now, since Deku has been found. So yeah. So they would get there, Deku gets taken to the principal and all that, and whenever he gets up there, the principal asks the question, since he is the smartest person in probably Japan. He would say to Deku that what's your real quirk? It's obviously not elemental weapons or anything like that. It's something else. What is it? Deku would go up to him saying that my quirk is almost infinite. It's only limited to how many people or how long I can live, pretty much. He would say my quirk's true ability is, or I don't even know if you could call it a quirk, but like Beast Dude over there, how he gains characteristics of a monster, not the powers, by eating it. I don't do the same thing as eating, but after I kill a monster, I gain its power and all that. And they would be intrigued, and he wants to explain it. He explains the whole process, and he explains how he first gained the ability from killing a slime as a kid, and it enhanced my strength to abnormal levels. So yeah. So they would go over his story and all that, while they would prepare dorm rooms for him in Class 1A and show them to him. But they're still going to the trip, but till later, I guess. Like right now, I guess. I'll do that in the next part. This is a shorter part, but after this, I'm going to do other stuff, and come back and do another what if. Goodbye. Hope you like this. Comment down Coca-Cola.